Good morning. I'm just still getting situated here. Hope you all are thriving, not just surviving. I hope that because, these times are tough. They are not easy to be living in. And I feel very fortunate to have what I have in this moment because I know some folks that don't have the best circumstances. And my heart goes out to them. That all being said, today's live is going to be kind of a refresher live stream, just kind of explaining and breaking down, wait, why is the government shut down? Yes, so I'm here to break down all of that to you all. Make sure to send some likes. I appreciate every single one of you. See, sometimes when something goes on for so long, people don't remember why it initially started. And this might sound bad, but I don't have faith in a good chunk of the American people to remember what this shutdown is actually about. And there's also a lot of people who are like, yeah, I know the government is shut down, but can you remind me why again? Because people are so busy living their lives. They are, taking care of their kids, taking care of their parents, and they are just trying to stay above water, live paycheck to paycheck, paying the bills. So if I can provide a little bit of clarity as to why the government is shut down, and I will share my opinion, though I'm also just going to share the raw facts on why the government is shut down. It's simply because Republicans and Democrats cannot agree on whether we should cut healthcare subsidies, meaning healthcare discounts, aid, to low-income people. If you think that sounds crazy, that's what the whole government shutdown is truly about. Republicans and Democrats cannot come to an agreement on whether they want to extend subsidies, a discount, a coupon in a sense, to low-income people to help them foot the bill for the exorbitant cost of healthcare. That's what this whole shutdown is about. Democrats want to extend the subsidies for low-income people. Republicans want to gut the subsidies for low-income people. That's not me being any sort of, I'm trying to steer you in any sort of way. That's objectively what it's about. You ask Republicans and they say they want to cut healthcare. They want to cut healthcare. They say it's for illegal undocumented immigrants, but here's the thing. They don't receive Medicaid. They don't. The only tiny sliver of aid that they receive medically is if they go to the hospital, then they're not going to be turned away if they're having a medical emergency, which is just the correct and moral thing to do. If someone is having a medical emergency, they should be treated, and then they should have to pay for it. And part of it is, a small part of that is emergency Medicaid, which only accounts for, I think, 0.4% of all Medicaid spending. Anyway, exactly. Seems pretty human, right? Yeah. So I'm here to break down what this whole thing is really all about. As we're entering day 8, I'm going to be just reminding you all why the government is shut down. I know there's a lot going on in the country right now, particularly with all the brutality that ICE thugs are doing to U.S. citizens as well as undocumented people. And that's something that does warrant a lot of attention. Though I also just want to remind people on just why the government is shut down. And this should be so easy for people to understand, but I don't have a lot of faith in mainstream media to be able to explain it. And so that's why I'm here. So make sure to send some likes. I love all of you. If this is your first time seeing me, say hello in the chat and where you're tuning in from. I love to get to know new people. I do often have the chat hidden away because there's a lot of people that come in here and just are nasty and rude and obnoxious. And sometimes chat can distract me a little bit from what I'm trying to explain. So I appreciate every single one of you. My moderators are amazing. Don't be a jerk. Otherwise, you will be booted from the live. You can share a different opinion. Yes, but make sure your opinion is not rooted in either misinformation or bigotry. If you are muted, those are the rules. Sorry, maybe do a little bit of self-reflection. Cool? Got it. Awesome. Let's continue here. So it is October 8th, and we are now on day 8 of a government shutdown. And you're like, well, what is this whole government shutdown actually about? What's the real crux? What's the real reason? The real reason is because Republicans and Democrats could not come to an agreement on something called an appropriations bill, simply meaning a funding the government bill. So ever so often, the government has to, Congress has to go through and allocate, okay, we're going to spend this. You're taught in school that Congress, including the House of Representatives and the Senate, has something called the power of the purse. Purse is, of course, where money is. So they have the power to allocate spending. Then it's often the job of the executive branch to carry out that spending. That's how our government is set up. Well, Congress cannot come to an agreement upon a funding appropriations bill. And the biggest thing that they cannot agree upon is specifically healthcare. They can't come to an agreement on the core dispute, which you're going to hear it and you're like, oh, wait, that's really the whole reason the government is shut down? Yes, it's because of expiring ACA subsidies. That means Affordable Care Act subsidies. For those people who just need a refresher, you're like, I hear the word subsidy. What does that even mean? A subsidy is basically assistance given by the government to individuals or businesses. So that could be a discount or a coupon. A subsidy is if I were to put solar panels on my house, the government, through a specific subsidy, helps pay for my ability to put solar panels on my house. A subsidy is, let's say that we wanted to buy a lot of something from a country. Let's say that we wanted to buy a lot of Mongolian steak, just to be funny. Mongolian steak, okay? And basically our government says, yeah, we will help subsidize that to bring it here. It's basically a subsidy as assistance. Right now, healthcare costs are so high, exorbitant. I mean, people are struggling living paycheck to paycheck. And healthcare costs are so high in this country. Whether you have government-assisted health insurance or even private insurance, it's super, super expensive. So the government has been saying, hey, we're actually going to subsidize, we're going to provide a discount, some assistance to specifically low-income people, citizens, through Medicaid, in order to help foot the bill so that people can afford their medical care, their medical treatment, etc. So the whole big disagreement, the whole big thing on why the government is shut down is simply because there are Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, subsidies, discounts, or assistance given by the government to low-income people. Republicans' position is we want to eliminate them. We want to take them away. We don't think that low-income people deserve to have subsidies for their health care. Democrats are saying, yeah, we want to keep the existing ones in place that we have now. What position do you take? I hope that it's a specific position, because I want to care about morality and empathy and love and critical thinking. That all being said, those are the positions. Which one are you on the side of? Are you on the side of trying to gut healthcare subsidies, which are basically discounts for low-income people to afford their healthcare, which we can all agree is super, super expensive these days, whether you're even on any sort of government-assisted healthcare plan or if you're on private healthcare? And then, are you going to be on the side of gutting those subsidies or on the side of protecting those subsidies so that low-income people can still afford their health care? Let's say that it goes away. Let's say that these subsidies go away. Your premiums, you're like, okay, I know what a premium is, or it's like some sort of thing, right? A premium is the amount that you pay for health insurance every month. If you eliminate these subsidies, that means that your premiums go to the original cost, or they're going to skyrocket in value. So let me give you a for instance. All right. Let's say that you owe $800 a month for your health insurance. Let's say that that's your normal bill. The Affordable Care Act subsidies, let's just take a number, and that it discounts it by $600, depending on, your specific plan, your age, your health, your condition, depending on how much you pay into it. Let's say that they help pay for your healthcare at $600 a month. That means that the amount that you owe after some government aid and assistance, those subsidies, is $200 a month. Now, still, it's kind of expensive, but also at the same time, it's way better than $800. That's how it works. And oftentimes, what's not talked about is the subsidies that our government provides. Those subsidies, a good portion, most of it, is through your taxes. So, you know how we all pay taxes, right? And I can have my own gripes about the tax code. We can talk about it. I think the rich should pay more, because low-income people in this country are really struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. That all being said, these subsidies, a lot of it comes from the money taken in by the government. So this is our money. The money that the government manages is our taxpayer dollars. So that's why it's so important to vote, because it's how, I mean, here's the thing. You pay into it whether you vote or not. You pay taxes whether you vote or not. Don't you, if you pay taxes, don't you want to have like a little bit of say on how those money is allocated, how that money is distributed, you know? I think that our taxes should go to helping poor, low-income people afford the health care. If that makes me a radical, communist, Marxist, socialist, liberal, then oh dear, sorry that I want empathy for people, that I want dignity for people. I'm sorry that I want to care about people having a good quality of life. Like, oh no, I'm such a danger. Anyway, going into all of that being said, the money for these subsidies comes through your taxes, so you should have discretion on how it's all spent. And just to really reiterate this, in order for, you're like, well, wait a minute, hold on. So the government is shut down. Well, most legislation, isn't it like, you know, whoever gets the most votes on it is the one that gets it passed? Correct. Except for something like an appropriations bill. As I said, appropriations is funding, a funding bill, all about the money, honey. So in order to pass an appropriations bill through Congress, it goes first through the House, then goes to the Senate. In order for it to pass the Senate, you need 60 votes. This is the current partisan makeup of the Senate. 53 Republican senators, 45 Democrat senators, 2 independent senators that often caucus with the Democrats. That's Angus King of Maine and Bernie Sanders of Vermont. In order for an appropriations bill to get passed, these 53 Republicans either need to get 7 Democrats or 5 Democrats, 2 independents in order to get their version passed. Whereas Democrats, they will need to get the 2 independents as well as, let's see, hold on, math. Hold on a second. They would need to get 15 more votes in order for them to get their version passed. If that includes the independents, then it's 13. So right now our government is in a standstill because they can't come to an agreement upon whether to gut healthcare subsidies for low-income people. That's what this is all about. That's really what this government shutdown is about. One side, the Republicans, say, hey, we want to eliminate healthcare subsidies for low-income people. People on Medicaid, which is government assistance for healthcare coverage. So, you know how there's Obamacare? As flawed as it could be, it's at least something, right? Basically, these subsidies help you afford your health insurance. Let me go back to like a mathematical example. There's a law put in place, currently existing, that Republicans want to take away. This law says that your healthcare costs, your healthcare premiums, the amount that you pay each month, the amount that you pay cannot be over a certain amount. So let's say that you make $45,000 a year. And this COVID era subsidy that is currently in place that Republicans are trying to take away, because they're trying to argue that we should take away healthcare subsidies. This healthcare subsidy, which is a discount, a coupon, helping you afford your health insurance, it's money from the government given to someone to help foot the bill, says the total amount that you pay cannot be more than 8.5% of your yearly income. So what's 8.5% of $45,000? That's $5,294. That's the max amount that you pay. That's the max amount you pay on this salary with this current COVID era subsidy in place. If you take this away, then there is no cap, there is no limit, there's no ceiling, meaning that health insurance companies like United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna, they could charge you whatever they wanted. See, this is why government regulation is supposedly supposed to be important, because it stops bad actors, stops corporations from doing predatory things. That's what it's all about. So $45,000 a year, and with this COVID era subsidy at 8.5%, that means that you don't pay more than $5,294 as a yearly total. And by the way, with this COVID era subsidy, this subsidy does not discriminate based on partisanship, of course. This goes for everyone, regardless if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, green, blue, yellow, gay, straight, black, white, it doesn't matter. This is about the money. In my view, and yes, I'm about to share my opinion, oh my God. Don't you think that it's at least worth mentioning how we should have a cap to prevent predatory practices from health insurance companies? Does that make me a radical, leftist, liberal, socialist, communist, Marxist, that I want the government to rein in bad behavior, price gouging, predatory behavior from a corporation? Oh my God, that makes me radical? Oh no, that I want the government, which is set in place to help eliminate bad behavior and create a commune of laws that all are fair, shaped by our voices. It's radical for me to want to put in place limits so that corporations can't price gouge. Oh my God. All that being said, you take this away and corporations can charge you whatever they want. So when it comes to this, Republicans are trying to take away, here's just the raw facts here. This is not even me putting in my opinion here. Republicans are trying to eliminate subsidies, assistance, healthcare government assistance to low-income people on Medicaid, while Democrats are saying, let's keep the existing ones in place. All that being said, if we eliminate these subsidies, then these corporations can charge whatever they want, in a sense. If they get rid of that cap, they get rid of the assistance. If they eliminate the subsidies, you're not getting the $600 a month discount. Which again, these subsidies are your tax dollars. These subsidies are provided, funded by your own tax dollars. So if they're going to eliminate the discount that you've already paid for through your taxes, because that's the way that government works, then you're going to have to foot the original bill. So you're going to have to foot the original bill, which it's already hard living in America right now because of all of the predatory behavior by corporations. So let's say the subsidies go away. Health insurance companies can charge you whatever they want, $882 or even $1,000 a month. The biggest share of bankruptcies in this country are medical bankruptcies. So what's this core dispute about? The expiring healthcare subsidies. And these capped premiums, the specific rule that was put in place during COVID, capped premiums at 8.5% of income for many people. Without extension, premiums, your healthcare costs, your payment for your healthcare insurance could rise to 75% on average in 2026, hitting middle-class families earning $65,000 a year to $100 hardest. For example, a Georgia family could see costs jump from $200 a month to $800 a month. And that's really what this whole thing is about. Now, for those people who are like, well, okay, how many people are on government healthcare or, healthcare assistance from the government? So, is this just a government shutdown just to appease, a small portion of the population? No. Let me actually point out This is from our own government. This is from our own government, Medicaid.gov. This is where we were in June of 2025. I can't find October, but here's where we are in June of 2025. This is the current enrollment that we have of people. 77, almost 78 million people in the United States are on Medicaid and CHIP. CHIP stands for Child Health Insurance Program. All right? Not the crunchy kind of chips. Not the microchips that Bill Gates wants to put in our arm, supposedly. No, that was a joke. Calm down. And for those people who are like, well, okay, 78 million people, that is a lot. But like, how big is the United States population speaking? How big is the United States population speaking? Well, according to 2 days ago, it was about this. And by the way, it's probably going to just be a little bit more here, but it's not grown by 1 million overnight, okay? So it's 342 million people. That was the world population clock. I took this as a screenshot a couple days back, not yesterday, the day before. What was that? Monday? Yeah. So if you want to do the math here, we have 340, broadly speaking, 340 million people in the United States. And we have 77 million on Medicaid. When you divide that out, that means about 1 in 4 people in the United States are on Medicaid. Meaning that if the Republicans get their way in eliminating healthcare subsidies, that means out of the people, 1 in 4 people who are on Medicaid, you could see an exponential increase in the amount that you pay for your health insurance. That's what the Democrats are fighting for. That's what this is all about. Let me put a disclaimer in here. I have the chat hidden away. If you're one of these people that is screaming at the top of your lungs, making fun of my appearance, my voice, completely derailing the whole purpose of the live stream in order to try and be some sort of macho masculine man screaming at the top of your lungs, seriously, go have a croissant and a juice box, scroll on. Minding your own business is free. Now, if you're one of these people that's like, I really appreciate your breakdown here, then thank you. I love you. You're awesome. Kindness is free, so don't be rude. Okay? That all being said, that's how many people are affected by all of this. And this is the specific math you can see. 1 out of 4 people are on Medicaid. And so it's important to point that out. That the real reason the government is shut down right now, and just to put it really into perspective, simply the reason the government is shut down is because Democratic senators are refusing Republican senators' demands of cutting healthcare subsidies for low-income people. So Republicans cannot get Democratic senators to agree on eliminating healthcare subsidies assistance to low-income people. But you know what that also conversely means? Democratic senators can't get Republicans to agree on keeping the same assistance that is put in play. And that also means that Republicans are willing to shut down the government for the chance to eliminate healthcare for poor people. That's what this is all about. That's what this whole thing is really all about. It's all about the fact that Republicans are taking a shot at trying to eliminate healthcare assistance for poor people, for low-income people. That's really what it's all about. Now, I guarantee that if I were to look at the chat right now, there's probably about 5 different, spammers that are talking about illegal immigrants, all over and over and over. Like they're somehow not human beings that deserve healthcare. Let me also just address that real quickly. In order to qualify for healthcare aid, Medicaid, the assistance, these subsidies that we're talking about, in order to qualify for the Affordable Health Care Act's subsidies, discounts, you have to be a citizen. You have to be a citizen. So, in order to qualify for Medicaid, I even live in the state of North Carolina. North Carolina expanded Medicaid, thank God, a little while back. And in order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to be a citizen. So these people, these Republicans that are saying, oh, well, we're just cutting healthcare assistance for illegals. See, they're pulling the same kind of thing. This is the thing. We see with our own eyes. They said, oh yeah, we're just going to go after the illegal immigrants that are rapists and drug dealers and dangerous and doing all this stuff. And they're going now after every illegal person with cruelty, deporting them to countries they're not even from. All that being said, why do you believe them when they say, oh, we're just trying to cut health care for undocumented people? We already know that they're proven liars. Why do you continue? Doubling down on believing a liar is more of it's more humiliating for you. Just saying. So that all being said, in order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to be a citizen. Now, there's one narrow exception. And I'm going to provide that for you all. The one narrow exception is something called emergency Medicaid. Now, when you ask ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, Grok, I said, hey, has the government allocated any money to illegal and undocumented immigrants for Medicaid? No. Doesn't allocate funds for ongoing, funds for undocumented people. The only small sliver is something called emergency Medicaid. And y'all, this is where I'm going to be ending the live stream in about 5 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to send some likes. Let's finish the live strong. Because I'm going to have to get to work. Because I'm a working class girly. Okay? There is a small sliver of aid that our government gives out for emergency Medicaid. This is where if you go to the hospital and you are an undocumented person, that means that you will be at least treated. There's going to be some money footed. So emergency Medicaid, this program, jointly funded by federal and state governments, reimburses hospitals and providers for emergency medical treatment provided to undocumented immigrants who meet other Medicaid eligibility criteria, income below poverty thresholds, but are barred due to their immigration status. Emergency Medicaid covers only acute life-threatening conditions, such as labor and delivery, severe injuries, or sudden illnesses. And by the way, for people who are like, well, what does this cost? What does this cost? All these illegals are taking all this money. This is fiscal year 2023. It only totaled $3.8 billion, which if you break all that down is just 0.4% of overall all Medicaid costs. So there's probably bound to be these far right people that are like, oh, it's $3.8 billion. It's $3.8 billion. You fund so many other things that $3.8 billion is like a drop in the bucket. For instance, our dear leader, tyrant in chief, as in the words of Jennifer Welch, Cankles McTaco Tits, once is trying to bail out the economy of Argentina at the tune of $20 billion. We as a government, just as, I shouldn't say we, the Trump regime, the Trump government, has already put $12 billion into the coffers of Israel since taking office. Starting this year. So like, putting all that in perspective, make sure that you're outraged about the equal application of where your money is spent. Cool? So let's also just break this down from a humanitarian perspective. Do you think that it's okay? Do you think that it should be that hospitals can discriminate, turn people away based on citizenship status? Do you think that this is the thing? Do you think that hospitals should discriminate people that are in critical condition, have severe illnesses, acute life-threatening conditions? Do you think that hospitals should be able to discriminate based on your citizenship status? What's the one thing that bounds us all together before citizenship status? We're all humans, I think. This is the thing. Call me a crazy, radical, woke liberal. I think that if anyone goes to the hospital in critical need for anything, they should be able to be seen. They should. If that makes me a crazy, radical leftist, oh my God, guilty as charged. This is the thing. I guarantee that the people advocating for discrimination based on citizenship purely because someone is not a citizen, I guarantee that a lot of those people are the folks that are like, I'm a God-fearing Christian, I love my Lord and Savior. You know, in the Bible, it talks about loving your neighbor. Like, I want to do a specific live stream specifically using Bible quotes to really just drill this home. If you are someone who is Christian and religious, Christians should be theoretically, if they actually live by what the Bible says, they should be the most woke people. They should, theoretically. And the reason why I say that is because in the Bible, it talks about loving the foreigner, helping the Good Samaritan, loving your neighbor as yourself, not treating your enemy with disdain, not being rude, because Jews were once the foreigners in Egypt. It talks about that in Leviticus. So it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating how there are people that try to hide behind their Christianity as a way to, but then they completely take it out of context. They completely do all this stuff. Like, you're not even living by the word that you're supposed to do, that you're supposed to believe in. That all being said, it's frustrating because before citizenship, we're all humans. We all deserve to have healthcare. We all deserve to go to a hospital and not be turned away based on, and this is such, I thought we got through this. No one should be turned away based on any sort of attributes, whether it is race, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, nothing, citizenship status. And the fact that it's Republican evangelical Christians that are the ones that are at the front advocating for discrimination based on citizenship is just disgusting. When it comes to other things, okay. Like if it comes to employment, okay. If it comes to access for healthcare assistance, okay. We can come to disagreements there, but when it comes to medicine, when it comes to people being able to be seen by a doctor, I don't think that there should be any like shame in any sort of sense. You should be able, we're all humans. It's the human moral thing to do. And you know what is just so, that just really drives it home, and I'm gonna have to go here in a few minutes, in literally 2 minutes. What just angers me is you don't have Democrats or progressives or liberals, however you want to classify them. Never in a million years are we going to advocate for getting rid of or cutting healthcare assistance or access to Republicans because they purely disagree with us. We're never going to do that. That's gross. That would be spitting in the eye of our own ideology of wanting equality, equity, and access for everyone, not discriminating based on anything. But you know, it's so interesting because Republicans, and MAGA in particular, always advocate for trying to take privileges, freedoms, equity away from other people based purely because they don't like them on a physical attribute. They don't like them on their citizenship status. When it comes to medicine, politics should not be involved. Seriously, stop the politicization of medicine. If someone shows up to a hospital, treat them. If someone is severely sick, treat them. We can talk about the logistics of the bill later. No one should be turned away from a hospital specifically because of their citizenship status. If that makes me a crazy person, then oh my God, guilty as charged. I just want to live in a world where people after me have it better than I did. Is that too much to ask? And when you really break it down, you really want to talk about it, it's only $3.8 billion, which is 0.4% of overall Medicaid. So be aware of people who are just being obnoxious to you, and like beware of people who are constantly trying to make you feel fear and anger. I think that we should extend these privileges to everyone. I think we should give everyone the chance. And like this, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating to like see so much greed and avarice and anger, you know? I just want to live in a country where everyone can have dignity. And give undocumented people the actual ability to pull themselves up, to become citizens. We're a country of immigrants. We're a country of immigrants. We're all on stolen land from the Native Americans. Part of my family were colonizers. Does that make me a bad person? No. Just putting in my perspective, my heritage in that sense. One side of my family were colonizers, the other side were immigrants. And it's just important for us to understand that we're also all human first. Like, we're all human first. I hope that we're all human. Anyway, I have to get going. I need to get to work. Y'all are amazing. Even if you don't like me, I appreciate every single one of you. I really, really do. Shout out to all of my moderators. Akicha, Cherie, y'all are awesome. Kate, Ellie, Elisa, Kintisa, Joanna Tech. I love all of you. I cannot do any of this without my moderators. Seriously, they are some of the best people that I've ever met. So, to all the people that are commenting positive things, I seriously love you and appreciate you. And my moderators have been telling me that there's been a lot more positive comments in here, which really means a lot. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes the chat is swallowed up by a lot of anger by only a few people. It's important that we take up more space to promote love, peace, understanding, equity, freedom, all of that. So anyway, I appreciate every single one of you, even if you don't like me. So, I love all of you. Just remember that you are beautiful, you are loved, you are valid, you are strong, and you are fierce. Don't let anyone or anything ever, 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 ever dim your shine. I love all of you so much. Bye!